Yo, it's your boy Jim from the Fan and Van podcast. One half of Steel and Teal, one half of Cigar and Sports. Decided to do a little TikTok video real quick. Obviously we had the NFL draft this past weekend, and I've been getting I've been getting asked a lot of questions by other Steeler fans that want to hop in the message boxes, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, even on here. How I felt about the draft. Honestly, I don't think we missed on any pick. The fan base arguing about why we're drafting guards that may or may not start. Why we're drafting this piece when we need this, when we need this, when we need this. Listen, all that could get addressed with the undrafted rookies. All that could get addressed through free agency still, trades, whatever it is. I do feel that we still need a veteran wide receiver. I'm sorry, Van Jefferson is not the guy to be the leader in that locker room, especially with Pickens, who needs to mature more, and maybe they see something we don't, where maybe they feel Pickens takes that next level up and he matures a bit more. I don't know. Getting Roman Wilson was huge. Huge. I don't care what anybody says. The one thing at first that I questioned it, and then when I saw the game tapes, was getting Peyton Wilson. That one for a guy with no ACL and then a stabilizer in the other knee, but has never missed a college game. Listen, I think we got ourselves a friggin' baller in that kid. And it's just one of those. It was a draft that, it was an old school type draft. Like, the Steelers drafted what they needed. Like, everybody they wanted fell to where they would want to grab them. Obviously, there's fans that still want to trade for either Debo or Ayuk. I get that. Even a Cortland Sutton, what would it take to get him? I don't know. You're going to have to get Ayuk or Debo, San Francisco is going to want a ransom. And I don't know if that's a ransom that Omar Khan is willing to pay at this point. But I do feel, though, that they do have to get a veteran. I don't think Debo would be that voice. I don't think Ayuk would be either. I don't know. You still have Tyler Boyd in free agency. That's where you could address it. I've gotten asked, would I be fine with them bringing in Odell Beckham Jr.? I'm kind of iffy on that because of the diva mentality that he has had in the past. But I mean, if they bring him in, it's got to be on the cheap. It can't be an absorbent amount of money. But as far as the rest of the draft goes, honestly, the Giants had a hell of a draft. I think with the first pick. Listen, obviously, whatever they were offering in New England wasn't taking it. New England stood pat. They took their guy. I don't think the Jets had a thrilling draft, which is shocking because they usually knock it out of the park on almost all their picks. Cleveland didn't have that great of a draft either. Chicago loaded up and with the first pick, obviously, and getting Khalid Williams. And listen, the jury's still out. Even with me, is he going to be the guy that can take this Bears team from being mid to being extraordinary? They get Odunze out of Washington, so obviously you get his running mate with DJ Moore. I think now, if, obviously on paper, everything looks good in the NFC North. But again, when it comes to playing on the field, it's a matter of execution. It's the matter of scoring points. And, listen, points win you games, defense wins you championships, obviously. So it's one of those, do the Bears kind of overtake the Lions? I don't know. Green Bay is another formidable force. I think Minnesota takes a huge step back. I don't care what anybody says. Listen, if you're a Viking fan that gets upset about it, again, off is the direction of which you can fuck. I don't care. There was people that, obviously they complained about the J.J. McCarthy pick there. Listen, is he a handoff magician? Yes. But does he turn the ball over a lot? No. So would I take that? Yes. just not in Minnesota's system where a bulk of it is passing it to Justin Jefferson any which way possible. And we've seen at pro days, granted, not a lot of people take stock in it, but he couldn't even get it. He couldn't even throw a completed pass to an open wide receiver where literally air is the only thing stopping him. But, you know, it's just one of those, you know, I don't think that was the right situation for JJ. It is what it is on that front. Bo Nix going to Denver. Listen, that's great. Later on, they get his running mate from Oregon and Troy Franklin. But is Bo Nix the guy to save the Broncos? No, at least not yet. Again, on paper, we could all critique it. We could all have our assessments. When they get on the field is when they're either going to prove us right or they're going to prove us wrong. Guys like Jordan Love proved me wrong this past year. You know, it's just, you know, it's one of those. You know, I think, you know, in the Giants situation, because I got a ton of Giants fans that I'm friends with, and they said, you know, do you think we finished a year with Daniel Jones at quarterback? I think you have no choice to, at this point. You know, people complained about the contract, but if you look how it's broken down, it's really just an extension off the original one. So really, after this year, you're done with his money. Do I see where maybe he flourishes again? It's a possibility, but if he flourishes again, listen, if I'm the Giants and Daniel Jones, I agree to a tag and just see if he could prove it again. If he could prove it again and stay healthy in another year, then maybe you get him another bag. I really don't know on that front, but Baltimore, obviously, because me and my buddy Brandon were messaging each other yesterday. We both agreed both our teams had a great draft. Garrett's Jaguars had a great draft as well. You know, were guys drafted a bit earlier than usual? Yeah. Were guys drafted later than usual? Yeah. And part of that is because a buddy of mine messaged me. He goes, why are these guys so much older in this draft? And why this and why that? So for those who don't understand why, you know, you have the nil deals, which will keep a kid in school a lot longer. So you're not going to see 21, 22-year-olds coming out right away or 20-year-olds coming out into the league right away. You know, you're not going to see, you know, guys that enter the transfer portal. It kind of resets the clock a bit. You know, and then you had the COVID year, you know, which Trevor Lawrence fought for everyone's extra year of eligibility and felt that nobody should be punished because of a man-made, whatever you want to call it, in a laboratory somewhere. And that's why you have all this now. But this will probably be the only year you see that. Like, certain guys that went later would have went earlier in a regular shaped draft in a way. This draft was also quarterback heavy for the beginning part of it. It was very wide receiver rich. It was very offensive tackle rich, defensive back rich, and guys that would have went in last year would have went sooner than they did this year, and guys that went in last year that went later probably would have went sooner this year. But I don't know. That's just my quick assessment of the draft. I just want to thank everybody who checks out this TikTok video. Make sure you hit that follow button. Just don't be those friggin' bots with like tipster shit and whatnot. I don't follow none of that. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Fan in the Van podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. And thank you to everybody for the support as always. Tuesday should be a new episode of Fan in the Van, so I'll post it on here as well. Till the next one, stay safe, and as always, peace.